Thank you for joining us for today's presentation. My name is David Kinsella. I'm a Senior Benefits Advisor with the Arizona State Retirement System. My colleague, Kathy Palmer, is also going to be doing today's presentation. Welcome to the Road to Retirement series. Hopefully by now you've been able to complete Route 1 and Route 2 online. Maybe you've attended Route 3, Destination and Site, through a meeting with your employer, or attended another webinar presentation to see that meeting. But even if you've not taken any of the other meetings in the Road to Retirement series, this is the most important meeting. This is Route 4, Next Exit Retirement, and all of you are within about 6 months of your retirement date. How exciting! Ahead of today's meeting, we sent you a personalized benefit estimate via your secure message in your My ASRS account. You'll want to make sure that you look at that as we're going through today's presentations. Let's take a look at the topics we're going to be covering today. We will go through a benefit formula review, an annuity option review, some pre-retirement activities, and then Kathy will lead you through health insurance, Ready, Set, Retire, and post-retirement. So let's jump into the benefit formula review. We want to provide you with a quick recap of how to reach normal retirement and the defined benefit formula. If you've attended any of our other pre-retirement meetings, you should be made aware of these already. Let's start with reaching normal retirement. Normal retirement means a pension benefit without a reduction. This is also determined by your date of ASRS membership. For those members whose membership date began before July 1st, 2011, there is 3 ways to reach normal retirement. Remember, you don't have to reach all 3. Whichever one you hit first, that's when you reach normal retirement. Most people are familiar with the 80-point system. When your age and your years of service equal 80, you have reached normal retirement. We have some members who are able to reach this in their late 40s or early 50s if they started a long time ago with their ASRS employer. Now, we also offer a normal retirement marker at age 62 with 10 or more years of service. We realize that 62 and 10 does not equal 80, but it is still considered a point of normal retirement. Maybe you started a little bit later in your job, and this will be your first point of normal retirement. And then lastly, age 65 with any number of years of service. Whichever one of these 3 happens first for you is when you've reached normal retirement with the ASRS. Now, the law regarding normal retirement criteria was changed for new members as of July 1st, 2011, and it eliminates the point-based system. So for those members, there's 4 ways that they can reach normal retirement. Be age 55 with 30 years of service, age 60 with 25 years of service, age 62 with 10 or more years of service, or again, age 65 with any number of years of service. Now, when you go to retire, the way that we determine your monthly pension benefit amount is through the defined benefit formula, and we want to review the pension calculation with you. So the first component of the pension calculation is credited service. Then we times that by your graded multiplier, and lastly, we times that by your average monthly salary, and this will equal your lifetime monthly payment. Now, credited service is earned whenever the ASRS receives 1 contribution from you in a month. You're credited with 1 month of service. But credited service also includes service not previously refunded. I left my ASRS employer. I maybe went to the private market. Maybe I stayed home with family for a while. As long as I left those funds on the account with the ASRS, when I came back, I started contributing to the pension again. My pension started growing again. So service not previously refunded is part of credited service. And then lastly, purchase service. Members have the opportunity to purchase other public service that they may have in their background. And when they make that service purchase, that is added to their credited service. So think about credited service as the days, weeks, months, and years that you're working. That's going to total a number. And we're going to times that number by your graded multiplier. That graded multiplier is a percentage. And the more years you work, the higher the graded multiplier becomes. That service times that graded multiplier is going to equal the percentage of compensation that the member would receive as their monthly pension benefit. And then the last component is average monthly salary. So average monthly salary or average monthly compensation, the way that we determine that is also based on a member's membership date. So if a member started contributing to their ASRS pension fund before January 1st, 1984, those members have the option of having 2 calculations completed, but only one can be used to determine their average monthly compensation. The first calculation we'll do is the 60-month calculation. From the termination date, we're going to go back 10 years of contribution history, and we're looking for the highest 60 months in a row of salary, including termination pay. Termination pay would include vacation time, sick time, personal leave, and any incentives the employer may give for the member to leave the position. Once we have that number, we're going to go from the termination date again, and we're going back again 10 years of contribution history. We're looking for the highest 36 months of compensation pay only. And whichever one is higher, a pre-1984 member has the option to choose that. Only if the 60-month calculation, including termination pay, was higher, would it be of any benefit for that member to use. If a member does want to use the 60-month calculation, including termination pay, they would need to work with their employer, giving them a notification probably 3 to 4 months ahead of that retirement date that they intend to use that 60-month calculation, because the ASRS has to receive contributions from that termination pay in order for it to be used to calculate your average monthly compensation. Now, state statute changed on July 1st, 1984, and at that point, the statute became that nobody else can use termination pay to determine their average monthly salary. So if your membership date falls between January 1st, 1984 through June 30th, 2011, from your termination date, we're going to go back 10 years of contribution history, and we're looking for the highest 36 months in a row, again, of compensation pay only. And then if you're in the last group, your membership date is after June 30th, 2011 until today. From that termination date, we're going back 10 years of contribution history, but now we're looking for the highest 60 months in a row, again, of compensation pay only. So when we look at this question, which member will have a larger monthly benefit? As you consider both of the members, they're both age 55, they both have the average monthly salary of $4,000. The blue member has credited service of 30 years. The green member has credited service of 34 years. So we wonder, will one of them receive more money? Are they getting the same amount of money? Well, based on the formula, the green member would make more in their monthly pension benefit. And the reason for that is the member worked 4 more years. So they had 34 years of credited service. Remember that anything in that formula changes, your monthly pension benefit is going to be higher as well. You can always log into your My ASRS Secure account to check out the online benefit estimator. We always encourage you to check that out. It can give you a good indication of what your monthly pension benefit is going to be. Now let's move on into the annuity option review. If you had a chance to print out that benefit estimate, now is a good time to look at that. Otherwise, you can always go and pull that benefit estimate from your secure message in your My ASRS account after this presentation. So as you look at the top of the estimate, you gave us a retirement date that you expected to retire. So this estimate is based on that date. You're not locked into that date. We just needed a date to forecast what your pension benefit would be. So you see that date at the top of the estimate, and then on the left-hand side, you'll see the termination date. Typically, the termination date is going to be the day before your retirement date. And then if you have a primary beneficiary listed on, or a beneficiary listed on your account, we submitted the beneficiary's date of birth onto the form as well. If you don't have a beneficiary listed on your ASRS account, later when we review the joint and survivor annuity options, those options will not show for you. And then on the right-hand side, you see the components of the formula we just went over. Credited service times your average monthly salary times your graded multiplier. And then you can see, are you in that calculation method of 36 months or 60 months? And if you're a points member, you'll also see your points on the left-hand side. Now let's take a look at the 7 annuity options that you have to choose from. There are 2 important factors to consider when you're thinking about the annuity option. The first is, how much money do you want when you retire, and is it important to you to leave something to a beneficiary when you pass away? All members must choose one of the annuity options as the way for their pension benefit to be paid to them. If the member's monthly pension benefit is less than $100, those members would be a lump sum retiree with the ASRS. They would receive a one-time payment at the time of retirement. They would still be a retiree with the ASRS, eligible to participate in any benefits that we offer to retirees. They could take health insurance with us or dental insurance. They are just going to pay those vendors directly. They can participate in any of the discount programs we'll talk about later in today's presentation. They're just not going to receive that ongoing monthly pension payment from the ASRS. So if you look to the top of the benefit estimator or your benefit estimate, the first annuity option that we're going to review is the straight life annuity option. For you, the member, this pays you the highest amount of money for the rest of your lifetime. But when it comes to a beneficiary, it doesn't always guarantee something for them beyond the employee account balance years. Now, your employee account balance consists of your contributions plus interest, and it has to be paid back to you or your beneficiaries. And typically, that employee account balance is going to last the first 6 to 8 years of retirement. When you first retire, those payments are going to be coming from your employee account balance. So if a member chooses the straight life annuity option and the member lives to 10 years after retirement, at that point when they passed away, their beneficiaries would not receive anything. Now, a good option with the straight life annuity is you can have multiple primary beneficiaries. They can be a person, a trust, a state, organization. You can parcel it out in any way that you want to. 5% for you, 20% for you, 30% for you, 10, 10, 10, 10, whatever you want. So lots of choices when it comes to the straight life annuity option. The biggest component, highest amount of money for you, the member, for the rest of your life. But again, doesn't always guarantee something for a beneficiary beyond those employee account balance years. The next 3 options on your benefit estimate are the term certain annuity options: 5-year, 10-year, 15-year. For you, the member, this is a reduced monthly benefit, and the reduction is based on your age and the length of the term that you take at the time of retirement. So you can see here on the screen, the member takes a 5-year term certain. They would receive a monthly payment of $15.18.15. But if they took the 15-year term certain, they would receive a monthly payment of $14.22.70. And then the beneficiary would only receive payment if the member passed away during the term that they elected. If a member chose a 10-year term and passed away after 8 years, the remaining 2 years of monthly payments would be paid to the beneficiaries, and then after that, the account would be closed. Similar to straight life annuity, a member can choose multiple beneficiaries: primary, secondary, a person, estate, trust, organization, and they can elect to parcel it out in any way that they want to. And then if you choose a 5-year or 10-year or 15-year term certain annuity option, and then you outlive the term that you elected, automatically the ASRS will change your option to your straight life annuity. We'll move you up to that straight life annuity amount, the highest amount that you can be paid, pay that out to you for the rest of your lifetime, but likely when you pass away, there'll be nothing that would go to a beneficiary at that time. And the last 3 options are the joint and survivor annuity options: 100%, 66 2/3, and 50%. With these options, you are guaranteeing a lifetime percentage of your benefit for your beneficiary. The higher the percentage, the more your pension is reduced. The reduction is based on the retiree and the primary beneficiary's age. And probably the biggest component about the joint and survivor that makes it different than the straight life or the term certain is you can only have one primary beneficiary, and it has to be a person. It cannot be an estate, cannot be a trust, cannot be an organization. And then there are age restrictions that apply if your beneficiary is a non-spouse beneficiary. If you're married, there are no age restrictions. But if you're choosing a non-spouse beneficiary, the age restrictions that apply for the 100% joint and survivor annuity option, the primary beneficiary cannot be more than 10 years younger than the member. For 66 2/3 joint and survivor option, the primary beneficiary cannot be more than 24 years younger than the member. And for the 50% joint and survivor annuity option, that non-spouse primary beneficiary, there are no age restrictions, but remember that the reductions are based on the member's age and the primary beneficiary's age. So if you choose a really young primary beneficiary, potentially, let's say, a 5-year-old grandchild, that's going to be the greatest reduction to your monthly pension benefit. One other factor to remember about the percentages that you elect at the time of retirement, you are locked into that percent. So we're going to talk about changing beneficiaries in another screen or two, but it's important to remember that you cannot move between the percentages. So if you choose the 100% at the time of retirement, you're locked into that 100% joint and survivor option. You would never have the option to move to the 50% option. So it's important to consider those things when you're thinking about beneficiaries, and if you want to give that benefit to somebody else, if your spouse should pass away before you, making sure that you're aligning your choice at the time of retirement with non-spouse beneficiary age restrictions. Now, because we are going to reduce your joint and survivor pension based on that primary beneficiary's date of birth, we need legal documentation showing proof of their date of birth. You can send us a copy of their birth certificate, driver's license, passport. Please make certain to include your Social Security number and that beneficiary's Social Security number on whatever document you send to us. And then you can upload that via Member Secure Message through your My ASRS Secure account. If your survivor that you name is also an ASRS member entitled to their own ASRS pension, we already have proof of their date of birth, and you would not need to send that in again. And then for those members who are married, you will need to consider the spousal consent law when making your election. This law went into effect in July of 2013 and is effective for all married members. It doesn't matter when you got married. It states that married members must choose a joint survivor option and name their spouse as a beneficiary at least to 50%. If you choose any of the other annuity options, straight life or term certain, or you want to name a different annuitant, your spouse will need to sign the spousal consent form, and their signature will have to be notarized. You can find out more information about the spousal consent form in the Road to Retirement Guidebook on page 16, as well as download the form under the About Us tab on our public website at azasrs.gov and drop down to Publications and Forms. Now, when you think about changing beneficiaries under the straight life annuity and term certain, you can change your beneficiary at any time and it will not affect your pension. Just be mindful of spousal consent applies. But if you choose the joint and survivor annuity option and you decide to change your beneficiary, your pension benefit will be recalculated, because remember that the reductions for the pension benefit under the joint and survivor is based on the member's age and the primary beneficiary's age. So if you ever change that primary beneficiary, your pension will be recalculated. It's important to carefully consider the annuity option that you choose at retirement, because you can't change your mind in the future. If you start out with the straight life annuity, once your retirement date hits, you're locked in and you'll never be able to change to one of the other annuity options. If you choose any of the term certain or joint and survivor options, there are two circumstances that will allow you to change the annuity option. If your primary beneficiary passes away before you, or you get divorced from your primary beneficiary, you have the option to name a new beneficiary, which is always an option, as we just discussed, or you can rescind your straight life annuity amount, pop up to that highest paid amount, be paid that out for the rest of your life, but likely when you pass away, there would be nothing that would go to a beneficiary. Now, one other decision you'll have to make at the time of retirement is in relationship to a partial lump sum. The ASRS offers you the opportunity to take a partial lump sum, which is anywhere from 1 to 36 months of your straight life annuity amount paid out to you as a one-time payment. From the retirement date, it could take 90 days for you to receive that payment. And it reduces your monthly pension amount and your employee account balance right away. So it's important to think if this is the right option for you. So in this example on the screen, we show you the first column without a partial lump sum, the second column with a 12-month partial lump sum, and the third column with a 36-month partial lump sum. If a member decided to take a 36-month partial lump sum, they would not have 6 to 8 years in their employee account balance account. They would likely only have maybe about 4 years in their employee account balance. And then when you think about the partial lump sum, how it gets paid has some implications as well. If the member wants to have the partial lump sum paid directly to them, the ASRS is required to hold 25% for tax right off the top, 20% for the federal government, 5% for the state of Arizona, and if you're under the age of 59 and a half, the IRS could impose an additional 10% penalty when you file your taxes in that next tax year. Ways to deal with those things, you're always going to pay the taxes, but we do present a couple of different options for members to consider. You could always do a rollover to a qualified retirement account. In a rollover, the ASRS will not hold any taxes at that time. And then if you were 59 at the time of retirement, if you wait until you're over 59 and a half to make any distributions from that IRA or deferred compensation account, then you wouldn't pay that 10% penalty to the IRS because you waited over the age requirements. Or you have an option of doing kind of a combination of both of those things. You could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take a $30,000 partial lump sum. I'm going to take $10,000 to myself. So after taxes, I would receive $7,500, and then I'm going to put the $20,000 over into my qualified retirement account so that I can access that whenever I want to. So why do people take a partial lump sum? Well, maybe you want to start your retirement with a fabulous vacation. You're planning to go around the world in 80 days, right? So maybe you're contacting your travel agent. Or as you're learning through the process of preparing for retirement, you're going to be making less money in retirement than you did when you were working. So maybe a partial lump sum allows you to clear the deck of any debt that you may have, being able to make sure that you're able to go into retirement knowing exactly what you have. It's not the right option for everybody, but it is an option that you'll have to consider. Remember, it's only available at your first retirement. Re-retirees are not eligible, even if they didn't take it at their first retirement. If you have more questions or still want to review more detailed information on the annuity options, please check out our Annuity Options e-learning located under the Media tab and under Member e-learning section of our website. The great thing about the Annuity Options e-learning is it walks you through each of the 7 annuity options. It's detailed information, it's self-paced. You're able to review it maybe with a family member or that significant other who might have a say as to what's the best option for you guys. This is a great way you can check that out. And the good thing is it's always available 24/7. So now we're going to talk about some important things that you should consider before you retire. Right now, hopefully you are utilizing your My ASRS Secure account. If you've not created one, you can always go and create one at our website at azasrs.gov and click on this link for My ASRS account. Currently, you have your contact information in there, beneficiary information. As you get ready to retire, think about updating those things. If my contact information is maybe a lot of people use their work email address, you want to update that to an email address the ASRS can get a hold of you. Remember, this is your account. So if you change your address with your employer isn't notifying the ASRS of that. It's important for you to come and notify and update your account so that we can get a hold of you. You can always make sure that you have a beneficiary listed on your account. Secure messaging, if you have questions that you want to ask of the ASRS, you're able to do that through your account. It's more encrypted than email, so it's protecting your information. And then right now, as a pre-retired member, you're eligible to review your account statement, check out benefit estimates, and then when it's time, you can apply for retirement online. There's also a point here about information release. Remember that your ASRS account is yours and yours alone. Even if you're married, only you have access to that account unless you give us permission to speak with somebody else on your behalf. The information release form allows us the opportunity to talk to whoever you designate for us to share information with about your ASRS retirement account. We encourage members to think about that, as that can help you later if you're not able to contact us, but maybe you have somebody that you want to identify that we could speak to on your behalf. You would print that form from your My ASRS Secure account. Under the navigation bar, go all the way down to the bottom. Right before the logout button, you'll see the link for the information form. It does have to be notarized, and then you can send that form to us through secure messaging. Now, when it comes to your retirement date, the only requirement the ASRS has is that your retirement date has to be at least 1 day after your last day worked. That could be a Saturday, a Sunday, a holiday. It doesn't matter to us. It's just that I cannot be an employee and a retiree on the same day. So 1 day after my last day worked. And who are some people that you want to think about contacting as you get ready to retire? Well, your employer is definitely somebody that you want to notify. You would give them notification of your intention to retire. And then the ASRS, you will notify us by submitting your online retirement application. The employer and ASRS are two separate entities. Just because you tell your employer that you're intending to retire, they're not submitting your ASRS retirement application. So it is important that you make sure you speak with your employer following their directions, but then also submit your ASRS application. And then the bottom two, Social Security and Medicare, come into play when you're ready for them to come into play. Just because you're submitting your My ASRS retirement application doesn't mean that you have to notify Social Security and Medicare. Maybe you're not of age for either of those programs at the time that you're filing for your pension benefit. So definitely look into those two options, Social Security and then again Medicare, typically age 65, unless you have a qualifying disability that would bring you in earlier. But again, just because I'm filing my ASRS pension benefit, I don't necessarily have to contact Social Security and Medicare until I'm ready to. We offer a lot of great resources on our website at azasrs.gov. You're always going to start at Retirement Central. And we have lots of tools on Retirement Central to help you as you get ready to plan for your retirement. Simply here, you're able to do lots of simple things quickly. You can download a timeline of steps that you want to take at the time of retirement. That'll kind of help you prepare. There's an estimate your benefits. Maybe you're at work, you don't have time to sign into your My ASRS account, but you want to check out what my benefit might be. It's a simple slider. So I slide up my years of service, what's my average monthly salary, and it's going to give me a ballpark of what my monthly pension benefit is. The great thing about the website, always available to you 24/7. You can always check it out. So then we want to talk a few important questions, true or false questions, to help make sure that you are in the know about important things related to taxes and your pension. Your pension is taxable income. That is true. So your pension is considered taxable income. So when you start drawing it, you would have the potential for taxes to come out of that. And then all states require income tax. Well, that is false. There's about 7 states that don't require income tax. But the state of Arizona does require income tax, and we only hold taxes for the state of Arizona. So if you move to another state that requires income tax, you need to find out from that state, is your pension liable for taxes? And if it is, you have to figure out how you're going to go about paying it, because the ASRS will not hold taxes for any other state other than Arizona. You control your withholdings. That's also true. Unlike the partial lump sum, where the amount for the taxes was set by the ASRS at 25%, on your regular monthly pension benefit, it's pretty much going to work just like a monthly paycheck does. So for federal, you're going to tell us you're single, you're married, how many deductions do you want? And then for the state of Arizona, what percentage of taxes do you want withheld? And then lastly, you can change your withholdings online. And that's definitely true. We always encourage members to do everything through their My ASRS Secure account. And the great thing about changing your withholdings online is it can take effect sooner. We can always mail you a statement, a form to fill out, like for federal and state tax withholding, but it's going to take about 7 to 10 days for that to get to you in the mail. Then you've got to fill it out. You've got to mail it back. So it could take a little while for that to take effect. I can simply log into My ASRS Secure account, go down to the tax section, and make those changes right then and there. Your contributions are tax deferred, lowering your taxable income while employed. Your pension is paid from those tax deferred contributions, so it is liable for federal and possibly state income tax. The good news, if you stay in the state of Arizona, there is a $2,500 annual tax exemption on your pension for Arizona residency. So if your pension was going to be $40,000 a year, you'll only be taxed on $37,500. Now let's talk about one last important thing related to the pension, and that has to do with cost of living adjustments. So when the pension was created, it was never designed for a cost of living adjustment. But what could happen is a permanent benefit increase. The ASRS has a provision for the permanent benefit increase, and Arizona statute outlines that the ASRS would have to achieve whatever our projected growth fund in the ASRS trust fund. We would have to exceed that for 10 years in a row. And if we did that, every member who has a membership date before September 13th of 2013 would receive a permanent benefit increase. It's around $40 or $50 more a month. Now, we were doing this very steadily for quite a number of years, but the last time that we had a permanent benefit increase was in July of 2005. So importantly, there in the middle of the screen, big white letters, not guaranteed. A permanent benefit increase is not guaranteed, and it should not be anticipated. The good news is your pension is protected by state statute and will never decrease or be taken away. All right, we've covered a lot of important information so far in this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and turn over the presentation to my colleague, Kathy Palmer, and she is going to lead you through the last 3 important topics.
All right, thank you very much, David. All right, I'm going to talk to you about health insurance to start out. Upon reaching retirement, it's up to you to research options in order to make an informed decision about retiree health insurance for yourself and dependents. There's a lot to consider with health insurance, so let's start with the basics. Who is going to be providing your retiree health insurance? Are you undecided? Are you going with a private provider? Are you going to be going with your employer or COBRA, or possibly ASRS and the plans that we provide? It's up to you to determine which is best for you, and we recommend that you do research to determine what's best for you and your family. It's important to compare your income status before and after retirement. Think about your current earned income minus your taxes and insurance. While employed, your employer is paying toward your insurance premiums. After retirement, however, your income will already be a fraction of what it was that you were earning while you were employed. Most employers will stop subsidizing your health insurance cost when you retire, leaving you responsible for the full cost of the insurance premiums. This can make quite an impact on your take-home income. You must also consider your Medicare status when choosing health insurance. Non-Medicare retiree health insurance is not federally funded like Medicare. Therefore, you'll want to be prepared to pay higher insurance costs. Please be aware that standard Medicare basically pays 80% of your medical costs. You are responsible for the remaining 20%. So you can see in the chart here the difference when you become Medicare eligible. It can make it far more affordable. That's why many people choose to retire after they're 65. ASRS offers retiree medical and dental insurance plans. When you become eligible for the plans at retirement, you'll have opportunities to change coverage in the future or add coverage. You'll also have opportunities to enroll your dependents, which could be your spouse or children up to the age of 26. ASRS provides a Know Your Insurance meeting if you are interested in knowing about the ASRS medical and dental plans. At these meetings, the vendors provide detailed information about plans, premiums, and more during the formal presentation. If you're interested in attending a Know Your Insurance meeting, you can register for one of these meetings through your ASRS Secure account and find a meeting date time that fits your schedule. We have these through webinars and also through in-person meetings. If you still have questions on the ASRS retiree health insurance options, please check out all the topics on the healthcare page, including the Health Insurance Basics e-learning. You can find everything you need to know just by clicking on the links on this health insurance page. To view or print the ASRS health insurance guides, click the Retirees tab and on the healthcare link, and then go to the health plan link of choice, Medicare or non-Medicare plans. That's where you're going to find the link to the guides. There are two separate ASRS health insurance guides. The red one with that red ribbon is the Medicare guide, and the one with the blue ribbon is non-Medicare. You may want to download both if your family has one person that will be Medicare eligible and one person that is not. More detailed information is also available on our healthcare page. You can view on-demand videos that cover everything you need to know. These great resources are available 24/7, so you can watch them whenever it's convenient for you. Access the on-demand videos through our Retirees tab, choose Healthcare and the Medical or Dental Plan link of choice. ASRS offers the Premium Benefit Program if you take health insurance through ASRS or your ASRS employer. The Premium Benefit is a monthly benefit available to our retirees to help offset the cost of retiree health insurance. The chart has the 3 criteria for Premium Benefit, starting with whether or not you are Medicare eligible. You can see here that there's also the combination plans that I referred to, where one of you is on Medicare and one in your family is not. Then there's also the dependent status. Are you going to be enrolling yourself only, or are you going to be also including a dependent in your enrollment? And then there's the years of service. In order to be eligible for the Premium Benefit, you must have a minimum of 5 years of service. So let's take a look at an example of a member who is not on Medicare. They are going to be enrolling themselves and a dependent, and they have 10 or more years of service. ASRS is going to provide them up to $260 and add that to their pension every month to help offset the cost of their health insurance. Now, this person could enroll in medical and dental. If they do that, then the $260 will be applied to their dental premium first. The balance will then go towards their health insurance. If they enroll in dental only, the cost of our dental plans are probably the highest premium is around $35. So they're only eligible for $35 of that $260 premium benefit eligibility. So that would be applied to their dental, and that dental premium then would cost them nothing. Let's look at another example. This person is on Medicare. They have, let's say, 7.5 years of service. So they're going to be receiving $70 every month added to their pension because they're only enrolling themselves. They're not enrolling a dependent. Again, that would be applied to their dental first, and then the balance would go to their health insurance. You can apply for medical insurance only or dental insurance only, or you can apply for both. Your premium will be paid for from your pension unless your pension is not large enough to withstand the cost of the premium, in which case then you will be billed directly from United Healthcare. That would also include people that are on long-term disability. They are also billed directly from United Healthcare. So that premium benefit is a great benefit that you can receive, but only if you purchase your health insurance or your supplement through ASRS or your ASRS employer or COBRA. If you choose any other group or private plan, you are not eligible for that premium benefit. Now there's something called the optional premium benefit. This is a way that you can offset the cost for your surviving beneficiary. Your beneficiary is always entitled to apply for health insurance after you have passed away, but they would have to pay for the entire premium themselves unless at the time you retired on your retirement application, you chose to participate in the optional premium benefit program. Now this will reduce your premium benefit, usually not by a lot, maybe $10 to $12 a month for the rest of your life. But it does provide then that same premium benefit to your beneficiary once you pass away and they apply or enroll in our health insurance or dental insurance plan. Now, if something should happen to your beneficiary prior to you passing, you can always cancel that optional premium benefit at any time. Once you cancel it, however, you cannot enroll again. If at the time you retired, you chose the straight life annuity option, then the optional premium benefit is not a program that you can participate in. So now I'm going to talk about the Well Card. The Well Card is a discount card that is available nationwide to all ASRS retirees and people in their household. Just simply go to www.wellcardhealth.com and use the group ID ASRSH to enroll. You're going to want to choose a login ID and a password, and then you can take advantage of savings up to 50% on all of these different types of services. Now, this is not insurance, it's a discount plan. So you would have to determine if you would be getting a better savings from your insurance or from the Well Card. There are no administrative fees to this card. You do not have to submit any receipts. It's purely a discount plan that you can take advantage of. You do need to find participating providers and pharmacies, and you will do that when you're doing your enrollment. Just put in your zip code and it will bring up all of the different participating providers and pharmacies that you can use to take advantage of this discount. The other benefit we have is called Perks Connect, where the Well Card is a health and wellness savings plan. The Perks Connect is a discount plan for travel and entertainment. So what you would do is just go to azretirees.perksconnection.com, click on Register Now using the group code ASRS. This is where you can get savings on theaters, travel, entertainment, rental cars, hotels, Costco memberships, and that kind of thing. This, again, is available to anyone in your household nationwide. Both the Perks Connect plan and the Well Card you can take advantage of, even if you have not enrolled in one of our health insurance or dental insurance plans. The only prerequisite is that you must be an ASRS retiree. All right, so now we're getting ready and set to retire. Let's take a look at what you need to know. The retirement guideline is simply you can submit that online application up to 6 months in advance of your retirement date. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to be doing your calculations 6 months in advance. We do wait until your retirement date to work on it. But this is a way that you can check it off your to-do list. Plus, if something should change within those 6 months, say you wanted to change the date, your beneficiary, or even your annuity option, you can do that simply by submitting another application. Once you've submitted your retirement application, you are able to submit your ASRS online health insurance enrollment or your employer health insurance enrollment form. But you have to do that no earlier than 3 months prior to your retirement date. Remember that your health insurance is always going to be effective the first of the month. So if you apply for your health insurance and you want that to become effective on, let's say, May 1st, you have to submit that application no later than May 1st. But we recommend that you do it at least 2 months in advance, but you can do it up to 3 months in advance. Once you are getting ready to do that online application for your retirement, make sure you have your banking information available. We need your bank name, your account number, and your routing number. We recommend that you double check those numbers because that often can be a cause for a delay in payment. So make sure you double, maybe even triple check that. The online application is easy to do. You can submit your application up to 6 months prior to your retirement date, as I mentioned, and the latest to submit the online application is the day of retirement. Though we do ask that you try to submit that at least a month prior to ensure that we have all the necessary paperwork in time. Simply log into your My ASRS Secure account and click on Retirement in the Apply Now section. There are easy to follow step-by-step instructions. Now, once you have enrolled, you may wonder if you can change your application retirement date. If you've submitted your application early, as I mentioned, you can do that. But once your retirement date has come, you only have 5 days in order to make any changes to your application. Here's a quick video that's going to show just how easy it is to do your online application.
Hello there! I retired a little while ago and thought the paperwork was going to be complicated and endless. Well, I was wrong. The ASRS has an online retirement process that made turning in my retirement application really simple. In fact, most ASRS retirement applications are filled out online these days because it's easy, fast, and convenient. It's also more secure and virtually error-free. All you need to do is log into your secure My ASRS account and check it out for yourself. Under Apply Now, click on Retirement to begin. The online application walked me through the entire process, providing step-by-step instructions and explanations. I didn't feel rushed and liked how I was able to save it and finish it at a later time. ASRS will hold your application for up to 30 days. You will receive a reminder email before it's erased. This allowed me to review sections and double-check my decisions. It even showed me how the different annuity options affected my monthly pension. When I was ready, I submitted it and printed a copy for myself, all at home, with no appointment, trips downtown, or to the post office. The best part was how ASRS kept me informed after I submitted my online application. I received emails and watched the status of my retirement move along in the pending status page of my account. I'm telling you, I was pleasantly surprised, and I bet you will be too. Go paperless, apply for your retirement online, then enjoy it. You've earned it.
Please know that once you submit your application, you will receive an email notification throughout the process. You'll get a notification indicating that your completed retirement application was submitted and received by ASRS. If you haven't received that email, then definitely go back into the application and check to make sure that you submitted it. Also, a notification that your calculation has been finalized will be sent to you as well. After your retirement date, the ASRS notifies your employer requesting your ending payroll verification. This is to verify that you've terminated your employment and to let us know if there are any additional contributions coming in. If your employer does not provide this to us in a timely manner, ASRS will notify you so you can follow up with your employer, just to ask what the status is. Now keep in mind, in many situations, it can take a couple of months for your employer to get back to us because they're waiting for your ending payroll to be completed and possibly to pay out any of your sick leave and that kind of thing. So when you first receive that email saying we haven't heard from your employer, don't panic. Possibly by the time you've received a second or third notification, that might be time for you to go in and check with your employer as to the status. Pending requests is a great tool you can use once you've submitted your application because it can take us 45 to 90 days to complete those calculations. So during that time, rather than call ASRS and spend time doing that, go to your secure account, look at the link that says pending requests, and you can see where we are in the process. In this example, you can see one of the things that we're waiting for is the spousal consent form. That's pending. It also shows that the review and approval required documents are in progress, and final pension calculation and review is pending. So this is a great tool for you to use. All right, so now your retirement date has come. So this is considered post-retirement. What do you need to know? Well, within 5 to 10 business days, you should receive, if you're eligible, your first estimated pension payment. Now, this is an understated payment, meaning that we most likely aren't going to pay you the full amount you may be expecting based on your benefit estimate. We don't want to pay you more than what your calculation ends up being, because then you would have to pay us back. So, as I said, it will be slightly understated. You can receive up to 3 estimated pension payments, 1 a month, depending on how long it takes us to do the calculations. And that depends a lot on the volume of applications we have at the time. Once we've completed your calculations and we know how much you're going to be receiving every month, within 45 to 90 days, you will receive your first retroactive pension payment and partial lump sum if you chose to take a partial lump sum. After that, on the first of the month, the next month, you will receive your first regular pension payment. Now, your pension payment is always on the first, unless the first falls on a weekend or a holiday, in which case we'll pay you the business day prior to the first. Now, that doesn't apply in the month of January. In January, you will most likely receive your pension payment the second, third, or fourth of the month. We cannot pay you the business day prior to the 1st of January because then we would be paying you in the prior year, and that can't happen. So, payment processing, how do we process it? How does that work? Well, let's look at this example. This is a person that retires on the 1st of December. December typically is not a high volume period, and ASRS needs 1 full calendar month in which to do the processing. Now, that doesn't mean like from the 13th of December to the 13th of January. It has to be one full calendar month. So this person, because they are retiring on the 1st, we may be able to get to these calculations and work on this during the month of December. But regardless, we're going to be sending this person an estimated payment within 5 to 10 business days of their retirement date. The following month in January, because we were able to do the calculations in December, we're going to send a retro pension payment in mid-month January. This is also going to include any underpayments that we made when we paid them that estimated payment in December. If this person chose a partial lump sum, they're also going to get a separate payment for their partial lump sum at this time. Then in the month of February, on the 1st of the month, because it's falling on a weekday, we will send them their first regular pension payment. On this pension payment too, the member will also see their health insurance premiums being deducted from their pension. They'll also see the premium benefit added to their pension. Now, not everyone decides to retire on the 1st of the month. So if you're retiring on any day of the month other than the 1st, and in this example it's going to be the 12th, let's take a look at how the payment processing happens. They're still going to be getting that first estimated payment within 5 to 10 business days of that retirement date. That payment is going to include from the 12th through the 31st. The following month is the first full month we have to do the pension calculations. So the month of September is the month we're going to focus in and try and get those calculations completed. This can fluctuate during high volume. We may still not be able to do it until the following month if it's a high volume period. So in mid-month September, they're going to get their second estimated payment because we're in the middle of doing their calculations. The following month, we were able to do the calculations in September, so in October, they're going to be getting that retro pension payment, which will include October's pension payment and any underpayments we made in September and August through those estimated payments. If this member chose a partial lump sum, they will also receive payment for that at the same time. Now, the next month, on the 1st of the month of November, they're going to be receiving their first regular pension payment. Now, once you retire, it's important for you to continue to be active in your secure account. As a retiree, you can make the necessary updates and changes to your contact information. You can change direct deposit information, and this is the place that you can also change your tax withholdings. Sometimes people, when they do their retirement application and they choose how much they want coming out of their taxes, they determine later on during tax time they've had too much or not enough taken out. You can very easily change that by logging into your secure account and go to the link that says taxes. You can also view or print your payment history because ASRS does not send statements to you every month. So you can check out all of your payments on your payment history. You can print out a pension verification, which is very valuable to you should you do a refinancing, purchase a car, and the person that you're purchasing the car from needs to have verification of your income. So you just need to log into your secure account and print out your pension verification. This is where you'll also be accessing secure messaging. Contacting the ASRS by secure messaging is easy. You can use secure messaging to ask questions and send documents. And you can learn about this form of communication by accessing the Media tab on the ASRS homepage and clicking the video called Member Secure Messaging. Stay informed by visiting the ASRS website. There is a wealth of information on our website, such as handouts, newsletters, bill tracker, and many other helpful information that's going to keep you informed and up to date. Now, there are many people that decide to go back to work after they've retired with ASRS. Now, if you're working for a non-ASRS employer after you retire, you don't need to let us know. There are no restrictions and nothing that will affect your pension in any way. But if you are going to be working for an ASRS employer, there are restrictions, and it's the member's responsibility to work with their ASRS employer to make sure that you are in compliance with those restrictions. We recommend that you check out our Return to Work video on our website to get the more specific information about those restrictions. And you can also find out more about that in the Road to Retirement Guidebook on page 23. Now, we covered a lot of information today. Just want to remind you that we have a variety of videos and e-learnings available on our website that are available to you 24/7. So if you want to review the different annuity options, health insurance, and other topics, please refer to the videos and e-learnings available to you under the Media tab. So congratulations, you have completed Route 4 Next Exit Retirement. Please know that ASRS is here for you every step of the way through your retirement journey. Thanks for being with us, and have a happy retirement.